Greetings. June 14th. Tuesday.
Ensuring Louis doesn't hold it.
All right. I just got this in the mail. Got some sort of special delivery deal. Let's see. Thank you card. Thank you for being a guest on the Solari Report. So, to extend our appreciation, we share, we sent you a lucky coin designed by Ben Lazard. Lazardi Communication. Best. Boy, this person cannot. I shouldn't complain because they sent me a coin. Let's see. It came in this, all right? I did an interview with Pete Kennedy for Solari Report a while back. And I guess they said that they were going to send me a coin. Huh. All right. 0.999 fine silver, weight 1 troy ounce. All right. Cool. Made in the United States. The golden rule. Okay, cool. Look at it. It's in a plastic thing. Maybe it will come out. Yes, I got it open. It's pretty nice. Do unto others as you would have do them to you. Solari. That was a long time ago, but I just got this in the mail. Is that neat? That is a real live silver coin. 999. Yeah, I'm not seeing it very well, I don't think, because I can't see it very well. But it's brand new. It's like, that's an ounce of silver. And it depends who you listen to, but I've heard, actually, Janine said that silver will be worth more than gold. And she said something this is why I like to listen to her. Not because she says what I want to hear, but she'll say something and then I will like, yeah, me too. Like she said, personally, I like silver better than gold. I do too. I like it a lot better. I like to look at it. I like to touch it. I'm not a big gold guy. Of course, I don't get into jewelry or anything like that anyway, but I don't own any gold. I own a little bit of silver. Silver right now is in the tank. It's $20, but that's $20 right there. But some people say that silver will be worth a lot more than gold. I don't know. Hard to know. It's hard to know. A lot of things these days, hard to know. In that realm that are always being talked about, it's hard to know. And I think that's by design, actually. So I got some things to talk about today. I appreciate you guys hanging in there yesterday. I had to go to, I got to go to the Resistance Chicks channel and do an interview with them, or roundtable. It was more like an interview, though, with them and Scott Kesterson from Bards FM. And Scott's got a huge channel. You know, he's big medicine. He's pretty well versed in what's going on out there in the world. I mean, I think he reads a lot and, has his hand on the pulse of what's going on. I really don't because I'm not really into it that much. I listen to some commentaries here and there. If they make sense, I will listen to them again. If they don't, I don't bother with it. And I think all of us have an inner sense of truth and not truth, right? Like if somebody's BSing, I kind of feel it. I can feel it, or I'll get sort of a kind of a feeling, and then I'll listen closer, and then the warning lights start going off, whoop, 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 and that's it. I don't go any further. And I think people probably say, what do you mean you're listening to Janine? She's a tarot reader. I don't really care if she's a tarot reader or not. It's just that she weighs out situations with the wisdom that she has. And I think what she says makes sense. And I can't listen to any kind of news, Fox News, anything like that. Once in a while, it's fun to listen to Sky News because they make fun of Sky News in Australia. They make fun of the president, or if it is the president, I don't know. What appears to be Joe Biden, I really don't know if it's him or not. He just doesn't look like the same guy to me. So I don't know what's going on there. I think there are people that claim that they know what's going on. I think somebody does, but we don't. It seems to me like just a really weird movie that we're watching. I don't get the feeling like, oh no, any day I see BMs from Russia. I don't get that feeling. I don't. I don't get the feeling that if Biden and his weird people that he's got around him were to call up the Joint Chiefs of Staff and say, okay, let's go, we're going, I think they would be, no, we're not going. You can't take them seriously. And I think a lot of people believe that the football that is always close by the president is like got a button in it that he can push. It really isn't. In order to launch missiles, there has to be an agreement. There has to be a lot of agreement. And the president does have the codes. And none of us know how that works exactly. But he has to have a very convincing argument to launch nuclear weapons. And I don't know. But we've titled this today. Let's see. We got Ben Carlson with us. Sean Wise. It may be chocolate. Better take a bite. Pretty heavy, Sean. I think it's real. And I don't think there's any such thing as a coincidence. That's why this was sitting here. This is my desk here. And it was sitting here when I sat down. I just came in from cutting hay. And I am not having a good day. Well, now I can't get the damn thing open again. It's real. I've handled plenty of silver. It's real. I know it's real. I don't need to bite it. I have a bunch of silver coins just like this. And a lot of them say dumb stuff on them. It doesn't really matter. It's the melt value of the coin. There I go. I got it open. Nah, that's real. That's the real thing. 999 fine. That's the real deal. There was a time years ago when I believed the gold and silver salesman that it was a good prepping move. I still think it is. I think your money is safe in precious metals. Cryptocurrency, it's a mathematical equation with a dollar amount assigned to it that's created by computers. And you can't really hold it. You have a representative of it. And I don't think we take it here. So I don't know about Bitcoin or any of that cryptocurrency. I don't like it. If I had extra dollars, I would definitely be buying myself a new Haybine right now. That's where I would put my money. All right, the cleric's with us. Sean's with us. I saw Justin. Yep, Justin's with us. Cool. Justin sent me I'll share this with you all. I don't mind because I think we're pretty close here, or I believe so. A really nice note, because the other day I asked the question, why is it that, and I've recalculated this because now we've 8 people in our orbit, people that either we've done consulting for, or they've come to one of our classes, or we know that they're on here in the tribe. There are 8 people who have built or are building butchering facilities. And I asked the question on here, is it just me? Or are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I just telling you something you didn't know and you're saying, okay, you're right, and I'm going to do it? So I'm really asking the question is am I making the streets wet and then saying to you, hey, the streets are wet? You know, am I urinating on the street and saying, hey, the street's wet? Or are the streets getting wet and I'm just saying, hey, the streets are getting wet? And some of you are saying, hey, yeah, that's true. The streets are getting wet. I don't know if that's a good analogy, but I don't want it to be the old Pied Piper syndrome. That's not what I'm wanting to do here. It might be me, but it's not what I'm trying to do. So anyway, Justin sent me a really nice note, and I really don't know how to respond to it at this point. I'm letting it sink in, and it's about why people have responded that way, and that I have a gift to motivate. And there was other things that he said too that were really nice, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate that. But I don't want to let like a compliment haze the mission here. You know, is the mission, oh, let's get some compliments? No, that's not my mission. And my mission is to get some things straightened out and someday get a well done, my good and faithful servant, because this is what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. That's why I'm doing it. All right. So, and it makes sense, you know, if it is a talent or a gift from my creator, then yeah, I guess I'm doing the right thing. I guess I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If it was a gift from Satan, then, and I tell you what, I listened to an interview the other day with the guy is, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not. And like, I was never a fan of this guy. I'll just put it this way. He's a rock and roller. He's in his 70s now. So, but when I was in my teens and 20s, I never listened to him because I just didn't like him. I didn't think he was that good. I liked a lot of other guys, but I didn't like this one. I remember an album cover that kind of intrigued me. It was a guy playing this individual playing a guitar and shell casings coming out of it as if it were a machine gun. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to listen to this, because I was kind of into stuff like that. But when I listened to it, it's like, yeah, I don't like this. And I never have listened to the guy, but I know his voice and I know what he's all about and all this. But I've never really listened to anything more than an interview that he's done with like a high profile interviewer about, let's say, hunting or gun rights or something like that. So the guy's voice. But I was like, all right, yeah, I guess. But I listened to an interview because I'm trying to figure this guy out. This guy came into my world during the pig thing, and then threw my family under the bus when we needed him the most. So I can't really discern, is he really evil of Satan, or is it that he just he's a really big guy and my family's just like a nothing thing, so he trampled us sort of the way I might step on an ant, and just didn't really realize what he did, because he's so busy with this, that, and the other thing. So he's being interviewed, and I said, well, I got to listen to this guy and try to figure him out. And it was actually a painful interview, because he interrupted the interviewer and another person who was being interviewed over and over and over, and did very childish things and said childish things. And it was all about, look at me, look at what I do, look at my rock and rolling and my whatever else I do. And it was sickening. And I thought, who does this guy really serve? And I think that you get the feeling. I think you can know if you want to know. So anyway, Justin sent me this really nice note, and I've been kind of wondering, okay, now what do I do with this? I don't mean as far as, thanks for the compliment or anything like that. I don't mean that. That's easy. But if this is true, what this individual has said, what am I supposed to do with that? And I've been racking my brains. A lot of things have come into my world here in the last 3-4 days. Not bad things. A lot of it's good things, distractions, things. And I'm trying to see how that fits into what I'm feel as though I'm supposed to do, because I'm not really sure at this point. So expect a phone call, Justin, because I think I wanted Jill to title this one "The Tough Get Going" today, because you may have heard some of the things that I have heard. It started last night when I was being interviewed by the Resistance Chicks. I also refer to them as the Resistance Babes. My Sam Malone impersonation. Remember Sam Malone from Cheers? I used to really like that show. And I'm from the Boston area. I used to be a Red Sox fan. So anyway, but I could tell from their body language and what they were saying. Now, they did have a death in their immediate circle of people, and it didn't come up last night, but I knew about it. And I knew that, but I could tell from their body language that what they were trying to draw out of me was answers, and out of Scott too was answers. Like, okay, what do we do? And their questioning was very much in line with some of the things I heard today. So people send me stuff all the time, right? Debbie Van Fossen sends me stuff regularly, and I consume the majority of it, because she kind of she filters it out and sends me stuff that she thinks that I probably need to hear. I think she understands this mission too. I know she does. And there was a guy that came on from long ago Southern Prepper 1. All right. He'd been around for a long time. He was one of the original preppers, I think, probably. And 10 years ago, he was on. And I would listen to him. And I thought, man, he's very much in line with the way I feel about things. Imagine that. He's retired military, Army. But you can't take that. You can't take it away from him all the time, right? So I used to listen to him, and I listened to him because I thought he's not lying to anybody. There is an aspect of that, and I have to be completely truthful. The gloom and doom, on and on and on, and then you can buy this dehydrated food from wherever. That bothers me a little bit because you're saying you're enunciating the problem, and then you're saying, here's the solution. I happen to sell the solution. So I have a bit of a problem with that. And so I may not have listened to him as much. Well, but I haven't listened to him in 5 years probably. But I saw him, came up on my feed. Oh no, Debbie sent it to me. And I looked at the guy, and he's quite a bit older, as you know, we all are. I reckon he retired when I did, back in 04, 05, early thousands. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a listen. And when I did, he's got this new show, and I am recommending it here. The guy's solid, for sure. It's just that I don't need a steady diet of better start prepping, and I'll do a little of it on here just in case there are people that need to hear that, need that nudge a little bit. And I just say, I don't have any inside information. I am looking at storm clouds on the horizon. I am seeing things, just everyday things that are turned on their side and not working correctly. And I think it's a good idea to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I tell you guys all the time, in the farming business, I'm always preparing for the next season. That's what this cutting hay is all about, which usually I kind of like, but I'm not having a good time of it today. I have not looked forward to it. But anyway, I can tell you about cutting hay in a minute. So I listened to him, and he has this new show, this new, I don't know. It's still Southern Prepper 1, but he's doing this thing called Boots on the Ground, right? Boots on the ground, military, army boots. Mother wears army boots. But then people are sending him short stories about what they're seeing in their community. And he is a seasoned NCO. There's no doubt about that. Non-commissioned officer in Army, right? Seasoned. I know that about him. And I know seasoned NCOs because I worked with a bunch of them, and I was one. Truth from a lie, because you're constantly searching when you supervise young people to get to the truth. I mean, a lot of times they're not exactly lying, but they might be leaving out a little bit of critical information, or they might be lying, or they're telling you what you want to hear. Children do that too, like my children do that. And so you have to discern, right? And so I believe that Southern Prepper 1, as a seasoned NCO, knows BS when he reads it. And I think I know BS when I hear it. So I'm hearing these stories that are being related to him, and he's reading them verbatim. And I'm not flagging on any of them. They're just everyday stuff that's going on. And it doesn't sound too good. I listened to about 3 of them today. They went on autoplay. Now, I got to ask here, too. The first one I dialed in, right? Debbie sent me the link, and so I listened to it. And then all of a sudden, my whole playlist that usually comes up changed. It was all different. Now I'm getting all Fox News and Sky News and stuff. I'm not getting any of my old guys. And I don't know if that has to do with because I dialed in a Southern Prepper that now I'm just going to get inundated with, Fox News is garbage too. I mean, it's just a different aroma of garbage. There may be some truth in there, but there's some truth on CNN or ABC or NBC. So I'm weary of it. I'm definitely weary of it. And I think you have to be weary of everything. However, that's what's out there. And then there was another one of American Homesteader. So I listen to him once in a while. He's got some cool stuff, about things to save and scrounging and, just good little nuggets of information, which I like. I like to hear different things. So I listened to him and he said, hey, there's this guy out there by the name of Southern Prepper One. And I'd already listened to it. So Southern Prepper One's Boots on the Ground show definitely getting traction. And it's getting traction probably because people are hear it and they're going, ooh, I hope not, but this sounds real. I said on the Resistance Chicks last night, and part of me feels this way. All right, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't look in the future. And on this one, I don't know. But I said on the Resistance Chicks last night, I said, I don't have the same feeling as you do. And I could see, you don't? I said, no, because this intentional destruction of the food system, the supply chain, and everything else is being done by losers. And they half-step everything, and there's always somebody to step in their place and say, give me that, you idiot, And we never hear about that. We are constantly hearing, oh, the deep state has plans for you, but I got plans, I got plans to cut all that hay, but will it happen? Plans are plans. It hasn't happened. And for some reason, they seem to want to do evil things to the citizens of this country, but then they tell you all the time. And but there's another component to this of where people, when they're told the dastardly things that are going to happen to them, they almost like accept it. Do you know they're going to take our guns away? I swear they're going to take our guns away. Well, don't you know that they have to actually take them? It's not going to be like the face mask with guns. They're not going to say, we mandate that you have to turn your guns in. If they were to do that, you would see some major problems, and I believe they know it. There's way too many people. Now, a lot of the blue hairs, they don't get it. They think, well, we won't have school shootings if we just take the guns away because there's too many guns. But they don't really get that the guy that did that was a lunatic, or I don't know if it happened, to be honest with you. I'm hearing way too many conflicting reports about, hey, none of these kids had, we can't track any of these names down. And then there's the plausible deniability. Oh, well, they're Mexicans and they're right close to the border, so maybe they're illegal. So there's plausible deniability. If it was like Jonas Smith, I don't think it would work. And if it happened in Duluth, I shouldn't say that. Maybe McBain, well, even then we've got people in the community that I don't know how they got here, but you see them and you're like, whoa, where did you guys come from? Anywho, do I think that there's going to be massive problems? If I had to bet this right now, my bet, and that's all it is, don't go with this, but my bet is it's not going to be as bad as they say. because every news agency right now that has lied to us constantly about everything else is telling us, oh, this is going to be bad. And you're hearing things today. I heard it. This is not going to be a recession. This is a depression. And if you do any studying on the depression, you see that it was a series of steps that were taken. It was done. And some people came out of it really good. Some people not so good. And then there was lots and lots of pictures taken so that when they start talking about, depression, people are instantly going to be fear. So whenever somebody's putting something out and they're just leaving it right at fear, I am weary of it. Right? So we haven't heard Rachel Maddow, which I don't think we will be hearing her. I think she's gone. Or let's say Don Lemon. Is that nutcase still around? Any of them. We have not heard, or Whoopi, we haven't heard them say, hey, there's food shortage coming. Y'all need to work on the fertility of your flower garden, but this year you need to be planting onions and potatoes and tomatoes. And we're not hearing that. So if they did, let's say they did that, and let's say, the Department of Agriculture had meetings in every community and said, okay, you've all heard the problem here. We're not going to starve here. We've got a lot of fertile ground. Let's get busy. We've got some dollars here. Let's put that into row cropping systems. Boom, 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 boom. No, you don't even hear a whisper of that. The only thing that you have heard from those mugs is bird flu. Be careful. Don't be raising chickens in your backyard. And then there's the willing accomplices that say, that's what we were doing yesterday. We processed chickens yesterday for the county fair. I won't say which county, but the kids couldn't bring the chickens to the fairgrounds to have them judged because of bird flu. So they brought them here and we butchered them, and then they judged the carcasses that were in the bag. Now that is a willing accomplice that says, I'm scared, and plus I work for the university system, so we better get out in front of this and continue the narrative. If somebody from the university said, it's a bunch of horse manure, we're not going to do that. Just press on with it. They'd be a hero, but they wouldn't have a job very long. So you can you're starting to see, when a news agency comes out and tells you something, you can kind of put them in a column. A university, you can put them in a column. If people are on board with certain things, you can put them in a column. You can, and you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to generalize or stereotype people. But if you're still driving around with a face mask on in your car by yourself, I'm not giving you directions. Don't stop to ask me anything. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I don't care if you have a debilitating disease. You're still an idiot. And I'm not talking to them. And people that bought into that early, they're still doing stuff, if you would put a mask on, you would take the shot. If you've taken the shot, you'll stand around and talk about, hey, which shot you get? I got this one. Oh, I've heard this one's pretty good. Oh, I got this one. What booster did you get? Oh, I can't wait till the number 5 booster comes out. I'm getting mine. Oh, where'd you get yours? Did it hurt? Oh, mine didn't hurt at all. Those people are dumb. They're really dumb at this point. And I know they would probably say that I'm taking a risk by not getting a Wu flu shot, but just the whole thing just looks like a bad movie. And you're looking at characters in a movie that your job is to be the dumb guy. So stand around at a picnic with a mask on your face. It's just sickening. But anyway, we titled this tonight, When the Tough Get Going. I mean, when the going gets tough. When the going gets tough. So I am not. I'm not getting a feeling about this that we need to prep because of what I'm hearing now. I have felt that you need to be prepared, and I felt that way from the time I was in about 7th grade when I was in the Boy Scouts. You need to be prepared. That is the Scout motto, is be prepared. I would have a dime in my pocket at all times, a pencil and a pad of paper to write on, a jackknife. I felt so special. Like at my junior high school, we weren't allowed to bring a knife into school. I had my knife in my pocket. But I'm a scout. I always figured because I'm a scout, it's different for me. And I never really pressed it, but nobody ever knew I had my knife in my pocket. But I would be standing in the lunch line and I'd have my hand in my pocket. I got a knife and nobody knows. And I'm justified because I am a scout. And then I even started collecting knives. And at first I would carry my knife, my Boy Scout knife. It actually said Boy Scouts of America on it. And I would figure, well, if something ever came up, I get frisked by the home ec teacher. What's this? Well, ma'am, I'm a scout. And our motto is be prepared. So that's why I have my knife on me. I always figured that would give me enough to maybe get my knife taken away, but I didn't think they would put me against the wall and shoot me. I think I'd kind of slide by. But then I started carrying other knives to school that were not exactly authorized by the Boy Scouts. But I did it anyway because I was feeling special. I was a special boy. But preparedness, am I feeling like, oh, we really got to be prepared now? I'm not feeling it. I'm still feeling what I felt before, that always be prepared. In a way, when something happens, the lights go out here, it's like, okay, what's first? I know what's first because I've thought this through. We're going to do this and this and this and this. And I've talked it over with my staff, and we accomplish what we need to accomplish, and that's what happens. When we are going to start cutting hay, there's certain things we have to do, and I am prepared because I have a grease gun, I have a fresh can of oil, I have new guards for my hay bine and all that stuff. So I was prepared. Actually, today I was in my second 100 feet of cutting. In my first 100 feet, I plugged twice, had to stop and unplug. And I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be bad because we've had the right kind of rain this spring and the right kind of weather for grass to grow. And my hay that grass is so thick right now and up to my chest. And my little 8-foot hay bine is really struggling to keep up. So I'm not too sure how it's going to go. We got rain last night, and then I wound up cutting today about 3, and I felt as though it should have been dry enough, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe tomorrow, like it's dry out now, maybe tomorrow afternoon it will be better. I'm going to have to see, but I may have to ask for help on this one. But I'm definitely to the point now where to fortify the position that I'm in, I'm going to have to get a new hay bine. That is the weak spot in my operation. The only crop that I really grow for on any large scale that I have to harvest is hay. All the other crops that I grow, we either harvest it for the house, which basically using a wheelbarrow, or the animals harvest it, like the pigs harvest it. So I today, as I was working, I thought, if I hire somebody to cut all this hay, I'm going to sell this hay bind right now, and then I'm going to wait until fall, and I'm going to buy a new one, a more modern one. The one I have now is like from the 70s, you know. And what I should have done is okay, the hay is up to my waist. Let's go cut it. But my thinking was wrong. My thinking was, oh no, it's getting thicker and thicker. Let's let it keep going. But this week is my week to cut because we have no precipitation until next Monday. So I got to get as much done as I can this week. So, and I'm here right now just because I plugged again right before I came in, and I was starving and I was getting irritated. And when that happens, time to take a break. Anyway, when the going gets tough, what's that saying? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Hey, Sean, we ain't mentioning any names here. Jack Andrewson has a question for me. Shoot, lad. Put your question down. Maybe you already did. All right. Half the U.S. corn is used to make ethanol, despite it being net energy loss. If there was a food shortage, the government could remove ethanol subsidies and use that corn for food instead. Oh, they could do a lot of things. They could do a lot of things. Recent studies, hey Andy, show natural immunity far superior to shots. Haven't seen much of that in the news. Nah. Yeah, Sean Wise, yeah. Shoot, I had a teacher asked to borrow my old timer all the time. Okay, and Angus with, hi all, I'm squeaking in late. Hope all had a great weekend. I think we did. All right, Jack Andrewson, fire out your question. I can go with a question tonight, easy. So, what do I mean by when the going gets tough? I think with everything that I've done to prepare myself for the next season and the next season and the next season, the one thing that has been impressed on me lately, and I don't know where this comes from. I really don't know where this comes from. So I'm going to act on it. The tough get going, right? So I know people who I know them that are hearing all the same information that we are hearing, but they're not doing a thing. You know, they don't, I don't know. It's like they think somebody's going to take care of them. And so they're not tough and they don't get going. So the saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. How do we become tough? And what does tough actually mean? That's been going through myself for a while, my head. And like, for instance, today, my second 100 feet of cutting hay, I hit something hard. I don't know what. I went back and looked. I couldn't find it. I broke 2 guards and knocked a tooth off the blade on my sickle bar, right? So I pull it up at the shop, and it's like, you got to be kidding me. I've cut 200 feet of hay. I've plugged twice, and I've broken the machine already. You got to be kidding me. And I felt like, I honestly felt like just getting in the van and driving with the air conditioner on. I really did. I just like, the hell with this. I'm sick of this. But then I remembered that this is the lessons of life that we are going to get when we embark on this journey that we're on. That's going to happen. That comes with the territory, right? You're going to be out there cutting hay. You're going to get stung by bees. You lay down to unplug the mower. You're going to get ticks in your butt crack. You will get ticks. It just comes with the territory. And so for me to have that flighting moment of hell with this, I had to catch myself. And how did I do that? I didn't just start saying, well, it's not that bad. I didn't just say, well, it's actually fun. It's great getting bit by ticks. And I didn't say that, because that wouldn't work. And I'd be lying to myself. You know what I did? I said, it's time for a new haybine. And I started thinking of a plan to get a new haybine. I need a disc bine is what I need. Mine is a sickle bar mower, and sickle bar mowers are from the 60s. And I have to go super slow, and I'm tired of going super slow. I need to be able to get out there and get it done with style, without breakdowns. And so I started thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get a new piece of equipment? I started thinking it through. Do I need a new piece of equipment? I think, well, my hay rake works pretty good. It's a million years old, but it works good. I've had breakdowns with it, but we can fix it. And, it's pretty simple machine. My baler, last year we had some problems with the baler. We had to replace a bunch of the pickup tines. I've replaced the main bearings on it. I replaced belts on it, chains, but it's pretty solid. Makes a nice round, or an adequate round bale. It's not as tight as the new ones, but I don't really care if it's tight, because I don't sell hay. It's for me. So as long as I can roll it up, get it on the hay mow, and I'm able to spear it off of there when I need it, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. And that's a sacrifice I made. It's a $2,000 round baler that, if I was to get something like it that's 25 years newer, I would be into a 10 grand or 13 or 14 grand, and it's not new. So I'm okay with my baler, but I started formulating a plan, and I said, you know what? I could go and I could ask for help to cut this. I could. I don't ask for help much, but I could ask somebody, hey, I'll pay you. I'll pay for your diesel fuel to do it. I know there's guys that would help me out if I ask them. Or if not, I could hire somebody to do it. And then I can rake it and bale it. And my cutting for the rest of the year with my little haybine will be fine, because it won't be as thick as this, Allen thick. So I started formulating a plan. And all of a sudden, I was like, yeah, that I can do that. And then I can get a new piece of equipment, because I have more hay to cut now. And I might even acquire some more land. And if I do that, I'll be cutting more hay. If I cut more hay, then I have to get more cattle. If I have more cattle, I can feed more people. So, it all started going, like, instead of being stuck with, how come I got this stinking little haybine, and everybody else has nice haybines. I thought, and I know this is it. It's not like there was any conversation. It was all right here. But it in order to keep going, you're going to face two roads to go. One of them winds up kind of a dead end of, I don't know, self-pity and poor me and screw this and all that. And the other one is, I need to upgrade here. I need to fortify this position because I've got some nice hay ground. I've got some beautiful cattle. I need a better hay cutting system. I just do, because I'm, how many years with this 8-foot cutter, and we're kind of held. So that is what I mean by getting going. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So, all right, I heard it today. Heard it from Southern Prepper. There's going to be some problems. Southern Prepper himself was saying, brothers and sisters, prepare. This is going to be a depression, a nightmare, right? And depression, that word brings connotations with it, like Holocaust. This is going to be a Holocaust. But then I think, okay, I hear you. What comes with depression? What comes is food shortages. Well, I produce food, so I'm going to have more people wanting the food that I produce. I teach people how to butcher animals. I'm going to have more people needing to know how to do this. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to put together a staff of people that I have taught to teach others, because I can't teach everybody, right? That's cool. That's opportunity. That's more gravy, right, down the gravy highway of, well done, my good and faithful servant. It's like Justin was talking about talents, like a talent that I've been given. Well, I could just keep plugging along the way I'm going, teach a class here, teach a class there. Good enough. I'll get a good you wicked servant. I gave you talents. You needed to exploit those to the fullest. How do you expect to get a well done if I'm answering my own question to you, Justin. I'm answering it. Yeah, that's it. That's the answer there. If you have a talent, you got to use it. That's all there is to it. Hey, so where's that question from Junior Walker there? Jack Andrewson. That sounds like a fake name, Jack. Andrewson. All right, well, let's have the question, lad. I'm assuming you're a young man. That's why I'm calling you lad. I'm not trying to put you down, but I want to hear it. I want to hear your question. Where is it? So, for the tough to get going, what are the avenues that we have to explore right now? Like, okay, they're rattling their saber. Food shortages, you're going to have your neighbor try to rip you off. You're going to have this, you're going to have that. Part shortages, fuel shortages, businesses closing, people getting desperate, bankers jumping out of windows. Ooh, I wonder if they'll do that at the bank that I go to. It's only a single story, so they probably won't get hurt. All right, so let's just talk food shortages. What are we going to have to do? Well, Southern Prepper, I didn't like the way he said it, but he said, are you going to feed your neighbor, or are you going to shoot him with your AR-15? I don't like those two options, Like, my neighbor comes looking for food, and an option is to shoot him as if he is an enemy combatant. That, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of shooting at anything unless it's an animal that I need to eat. But all right. I look around the neighborhood that I'm in, and I look at the people, right? Michigan's a strange place. People don't, when I moved here, people didn't even wave at me on the road, you know, and I don't know too many of my neighbors very well. Whenever I see them at a gathering, it's a hi, but that's it. We don't get invited to anybody's homes. Uh, Never get invited in for food or anything like that. And when we have invited several of them into our home for food, it's just that way where I live in Michigan. It just is. I'm not sure why it's that way. Out west, it was way different. We ate over people's homes all the time. And some of them wives were good cooks too. But I still look at these people and I think, well, they're humans. And, if this does happen and they lose jobs and they're not able to feed themselves, well, I can feed them. And I'm thinking, that guy's pretty good at what he does. He's pretty handy with what I've seen, the work that he does. And this guy's pretty handy with what he does, just from the upkeep of their properties. I can see that they got their act together. Their properties look better than mine. They don't have as much to take care of as I do, and so then I start thinking, okay, well, if it ever came to that and they came to me and they wanted a sandwich or something, I'd say, are you working? How about you work for me? I can't promise you too much, but your family will eat. Oh, that's the name of the game right there, is food. If it gets to that point. So in my mind, I'm going there. I'm not going to shoot them. I'm going to say, hey, you want to work out a fair trade here? I'm also not going to let somebody come into my home and demand food. That wouldn't happen either, but none of these people are like that. So my thought about that is, and the Southern Prepper was here too. He's kind of changed his tune. He used to be quite militant, but he's changed his tune. Start thinking about your neighbors, how you're going to put them to work for the food that they're going to require. And that's going to be a tough one because people in today's society do not work very hard, and they do get a pretty good paycheck, and that goes far enough at the store to get them to overweight status. I see that a lot, right? What happened with the chat? Is everybody gone? Is my commentary so riveting that no one's writing anything down? It seems like it just stopped. 2044 and 18 seconds. Is it still going? Let me try the overlay. All right. No, nobody's saying anything. All right. Be that way. What are the other things we're going to have to deal with? When I was cutting out there with my hay bind that wasn't working too good, I started thinking, well, I started looking at it like the glass is half full instead of half empty, because my little tyrant about my hay bind doesn't work as good as my neighbor's was kind of stupid because I was cutting hay. I was making it through slow and I was plugging a lot and it was causing me aggravation, but I was making hay. So if the glass is half full, it's like, well, we're getting there. And every blade that we cut is going to get stored. It's going to feed the cattle through the winter. So long as the cattle are fed, we're fed. All right. So that's part of getting going. It's like, well, I got this far with it. Yeah, I didn't blow the whole field out like I wanted to. And it's not as neat as it will be someday. But I did. Okay. So that's another example of, well, I got this, well, I don't have, I don't have all the equipment that I need. But the other way to look at that is, but I do have this real nice wheelbarrow. I mean, this wheelbarrow is a beauty. I think I'm going to paint this thing. I think I'm going to stencil the side of it. You know, if I was using that more than my tractor, I'm going to put a sticker on the side that says Baker's Green Acres, I think. Right. So if you start to look at it that way, that's part of getting going. You're tough. Your job is to get the job done. Quit your damn complaining and look at the resources that you still have and put them to full use. Right. Andy, you know all about this. Although we did not learn a lot of this in the Air Force, because when we ran out of resources, a lot of times it was just, okay, well, we're not going to jury rig this. That F-15, let's use the correct part. Don't use baling wire on that F-15. So I didn't see it as much as I've seen it since I got out. I did see it some. I remember I was on a deployment one time. I'll never forget this one. And the radios that we were taking care of, all right, and I was producing electricity to run the radios, and then I was part of a team. There was operators, there was security, there was medical, there was CCT, it was a team, and my specialty was power production, and also we had brought along with us an air conditioner for the module where the radios were in, and the crew was in that operated the radios, and the air conditioner stopped working, and the module was in the sun. Guess what color it was? And it got pretty darn hot in there. And in the regulation, there was no windows in it, and you were not allowed to have the door open because that was an unsecure. Anyway, the crew had to be in there with fans going on them, just fanning them with hot air, the heat coming off the radios. Not a good situation. Well, I showed up for work, and the guy that I was taking over from, he's like, this thing's shot. We got to get it sent back to the Philippines and get our other one sent out here. And I just said, okay. I mean, he outranked me by 2 stripes. And I just said, okay. And I went on my shift, and my shift was to make sure that there was fuel in the generators and switch from this one to this one and change the oil and all that stuff. It was an easy job. And then monitor some security equipment. And another guy came in that was still a friend of mine to this day, Kyle Bauman. And he says, how come it's so hot in here? He was the same rank as me. And I said, the air conditioner quit. So-and-so said it's shot. I never looked at it after he said it was shot. And Bauman goes over to it, and he starts to tinker with it. Next thing I know, it comes on, and it cools the place down. And the crew in there is like, you're a hero. And that was not me that did that. I was there, but I took the word of the guy that outranked me, that it was toast, not Bauman. He didn't. Why? He's a farm kid. That's why. He would do it all the time. Tip his hat to the side, put his head down, and figure out what's wrong, right? And so that was the life that I wanted, right? And so that's the life that I'm getting. Can the can, yeah. That's when you have a piece of equipment that you have to take parts off. It's broken anyway, so take the engines out of it. That's called a canner or a K-ball, or anyway, it's called cannibalization. But that was one of the things that Southern Prepper said. He says there's a lot of cannibalization going on within the airlines. And the guy that was reporting this sounded legit. Sounded like he was a flight line mechanic with a major airline. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, time will tell on all this. It's just a question of where will you be when you finally know. Like, I'm real glad that I'm not coming to you guys saying, yeah, I know I told you guys to all go get your shots, but I was wrong. I'm glad I'm not there, you know, real glad that I'm not there. I'm glad I smelled stinko. Alrighty, so the going could get tough, and us as tough people, we have to get going. And you notice what I just did. I just worked out scenarios that I came up with. And I would recommend that wherever you are on your family situation, work situation, homestead, wherever you are, you do an assessment. You walk around and do an assessment and say, is that system as fortified as it can be? And the fortified thing, I use this analogy. We had that class on Saturday. I forgot to tell you guys about that on this show. I don't think I talked about it on the Chicks last night. We had 24 people in that class, a pastured poultry class. Very impressive. We've never had a crowd like that for a class. Never had 24 people. And the caliber of the people that were there was impressive. Impressive. I was very impressed. And I'm not easily impressed. There was some solid people in this that are just saying, no, I got this, and this under my belt, but I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna after today. And just very matter of fact, I need to know how to do this. I was impressed. But during that class, I was talking about fortifying your position. There was a couple of military, and there was actually 2 Marines that were in the group. And I think they get a little worried when Air Force people start talking about sandbags, like we don't ever handle sandbags. I filled a lot of sandbags and sat behind them with a gun. Lots and lots. They don't think we do, but everybody's got to do their time, sitting on security positions and stuff and things like that. But the adage goes like this: if you're sitting there, you could be filling the sandbag that will catch the bullet that will ventilate you. So there's no time for just sitting and doing nothing. I mean, you can stop what you're, and you learn how to do this in security work. You stop what you're doing, and then you start to scan the horizon. You look at every tree, every bush. You're looking for various things that you're briefed on that you need to be looking for, and you realize that your area is 100%. Your area has to be 100%. And so what do? They try to get somebody that can get in close and toss something into your hole, right? If that happens, you've just made a giant hole in the security of the perimeter. None of us guys would get put on the actual perimeter. Well, maybe, yeah, we would. But then there would be strike teams out that would be walking, that would probably encounter things before we would. But fortifying your position, that is part of getting going. Like, this sucks. It's raining on me, and somebody's out there trying to shoot at me with a gun that doesn't even know me. This sucks. Well, I could fill another sandbag. Good, do that. And then check your weapon, make sure that you got ammo in it. And then get on those glasses and scan that. Don't let anybody get anywhere near you. Anyway, that's fortifying your position as far as I'm concerned. So in the things that we're doing right now, I'm not going to go down that avenue of, I don't believe this, or I do believe this, and frantically, try to prep for everything that could be happening. I'm not really going to go down that road. I'm prepping because I always have prepped, and I will continue And I will always continue to fortify the position that I'm in, because I didn't build this place in a year. It took 18 years of, well, we built that, but didn't have a chance to paint it. Well, now we're going to paint it. How about that? After 5 years, we're finally going to paint that. Pretty cool. That's the way things go on at least on my homestead. A lot of things don't actually get work to actual perfect completion. They get work to functionality, and then it's on to the next thing, because the overall health of the operation requires that we have certain things going, and we don't always have time to paint stuff, or almost never. But we're catching up on things. Anyway, that's my thing for tonight. I hate sandbags. What about me? I'm the meanest guy there ever was when I show up someplace and they filled 75 sandbags, but they're loose. And I say, you guys, you got to fill 75 more sandbags and then swap all of them out. Well, why don't we just put some sand in these ones? No, you can't do that. You can't, because at least those are providing a level of protection, but not as good as it could be. So fill 75 new ones. And I know the little jerks were doing it like that just to be jerks. And I even saw them doing it. And I thought, no, let me wait until they've got that wall finished, and then I'll go tell them that the bags are about 10 pounds light and you need to do them over again. There's actually a specification for how full to fill your sandbag. And I believe it's in kilos. All right, Haven's with us. I've heard from a lot of auto body shops. I've heard from a lot of auto body shops that cannibalize the junkyards already, and there's very few used parts and body panels now as well. Might be a good time to order spare parts and oil. Yeah. When I hear things like that, and then, you know what? Rachel's car was just in at Spears. I might as well give old Johnny Spears a shout out. Spears Automotive, Cadillac, Michigan. They're good friends of ours, and they have an excellent maintenance program. So for your automotive needs, go see John Spears at Spears Automotive. But Rachel's car was in to Spears, and it needed a hood latch. And her car it's a 20-year-old 325i BMW. Sweet car in its time, but now it's just a good, reliable 20-year-old car. And they had to get one custom made. They couldn't. And the one that they got, it was missing a part. We had to bring the car home, and they got the part in. We have to bring the car back. Yep. Well, that's 1 or 2 years old, and they recycled and fall apart. Yeah. Sandbags. Yes, we do have mugs available, Ghost. We sold, I think, 10 of them on Saturday. We sold 15 bags of Baker's Biochar for $18 a bag, 3-pounders. Yep. Yeah, we had a good day. We had a real good day. But yeah, we do have them, and they're on the website. Jill's posted them on the website. I also have some pigs. If any of you guys need pigs, I got about 15 of them. And I got one sow that just farrowed and another one that is getting ready to go any day. So I would get some spare animals, pigs especially. Andy says, daughter is working at auto parts store, had a hard to get a lot of tractor fluids here. Oof. All right. Yeah, you can get in touch through the website, bakersgreenacres.com. And if something doesn't work, just call the farmhouse. 231-825-0293. We're on Eastern Standard Time. You'll probably get Jill on the phone because I never answer the phone in the house. I just don't hear it. That's all there is to it. I'm just too busy to answer the phone. All right. Well, there we go. There's my rendition on when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I'm thinking that needs to happen, because if, let's say that what everybody's talking about right now, let's say this blows past us, what's the next thing? There may be something that really happens. Maybe like winter's coming. That's really going to happen. So that's the one that preparing for winter, I don't have a problem doing that at all. It's like, yes, I know it's going to happen. Those cows are going to need to eat. I just put them out today, by the way. I have never waited this long to put my cows out, but I had some fence issues, and I just need to make sure that the fences are 100% before I let the cows out. You just cannot let them out before. And I have not had time to get out there and nail everything down. So I did this morning, and I let them out this afternoon. So that's where I'm headed right now. I'm going to go out, make sure that they're still where they're supposed to be, because some of them were not electric fence trained. And who knows? All right, I'm going to get going. Tomorrow's Wednesday night, so there will not be a show. We've canceled the Wednesday night show. I will be very busy tomorrow night. Thursday, I'm cutting hay, but I plan to meet with you all. And Friday, we have a big butchering day and cutting hay, but I still think that I will meet with you all. Okay, if you all have any intel that you need to pass on to me, like you read a good article or good story, a good video, something like that, and you think that you'd like it passed on to this group, send it to my my messenger, and I'll check it out. And if I get back to you, I'll mention it on here if I have to. If it's good, but don't take it personal if it's not. Maybe it's that, maybe it's just not. Okay, AFJ third. I wonder what that could be. My grandfather was in the meat business all his life. If only I had known. I have all of his knives, cam, saw, etc., but none of the skills. Well, you just probably ought to take one of our classes then. That's the idea. I mean, you don't tell me that you're dead in the water because you don't have the skills. It'd be like saying, well, I have the skills, but I don't have no knives. Then you get some knives. Well, you got the knives and the saws, but no skills. Then get the skills, because you might be the most popular guy in your neighborhood because you have those skills. And once you get those skills, then start to build out an area. And at first, the area might just be a greasy spot on the lawn. But as things move along, maybe you'll pick a greasy spot that's under a tree. And then you'll put some gravel down. And then maybe you pour a little slab. And then put a pavilion in that you can hoist a cow up inside of, and start sharpening your stick. Get better and better and better at this, because that is one of the skills that we possess here, that we pass on to other folks, that once you have that, it's almost like you can go anywhere and get a job. If you can cut meat, if you can butcher animals, or let's say that me and Jill decided, nope, no more farming for us. We would definitely, at the next place that we go to, even if I decided to live in a bus, I'm not kidding, I would put a crane out of the side of it that I could deploy out so I could butcher. And if we go and stay at a friend's house, it'd be like, you don't have any cattle here that you need butchered, do you? Me and Jill need something to do. Yeah, we do. Everybody needs animals butchered nowadays. Everybody does. And if they, yeah. So that's one of those things. You can't go wrong learning how to do that. Okay, I'm going to get going, you guys. Thanks for coming by. Remember, anyone can farm.